Hello, I'm Ralph Jernberg, and I'm thankful that we can celebrate 20 years of Lutheran Outdoor Ministries today. I'm now retired and I'm living in Northfield, Minnesota, but my career began at Good Earth Village, and I've served at Crossways Camping Ministries and also at Sky Ranch. Sometimes Don Johnson has referred to me as the first president of the LOM network. But I served as co-president of our previous organization, known as the Association of Lutheran Outdoor Ministry Professionals. We called it ALUM. In 2003, at our fall gathering in Medora, North Dakota, we learned that a reorganization of the ELCA would reduce funding for outdoor ministries, and that news caused understandable concern. We worried about the loss of ELCA staff support and what might happen to our strong educational programs. But out of that uncertainty came several bold ideas, and one of them was to create our own nonprofit organization that could carry on the mission of outdoor ministries. In the fall of 2004, we brought a proposal that would become the final meeting of ALUM. The resolutions that were presented emphasized three goals. First, to create a simple but functioning nonprofit organization. And second, to empower that newly elected board to do the heavy work of refining our bylaws and programs. And third, we wanted to maintain a strong and healthy relationship with the ELCA. Now, everything passed. It was unanimous, as I recall, and the new organization officially began on April 21st, 2005, just a few months later. Now, many people helped to establish the LOM network, but one person in particular deserves mention, and that would be Mark Burkhart. Mark's leadership helped build confidence among church-wide leaders and assured them that outdoor ministries would remain a value partner in mission. So I'm very thankful for all the work that he did. And so I say thanks be to God for all of our past leaders and for all of our present and future leaders who will assure that this organization remains healthy in the future.
I became president of LOM after the 2005 conference in Duluth, serving for 2 years. During this time, there was a tremendous amount of work needed as we transitioned into this new organization. Through Mark Burkhart's leadership and with the esteem he had on the church-wide staff, the ELCA generously provided financial grants to us to support us in the transition. One of the first things the board did was draft a master plan, which included a mission statement and core principles. When we began brainstorming a mission statement, we realized that our purpose was to encourage, educate, equip, and empower outdoor ministry organizations, their leaders, and future leaders. Finding the financial resources necessary to support the organization we were becoming was of great concern. In one of our first budgets, there was a deficit of $1,700 with no real places to cut. I offered to cover the first $100 and asked for 16 more volunteers. 19 people signed up. Thus began the annual fund appeal.
Hello, everyone. My name is Andrea Schofield from Eugene, Oregon. I've had the privilege of serving and retiring this year from Camp Lutherwood, Oregon, where I have been the executive director for over 25 years. I was honored to serve as the LOM board president for 4 years. Yes, you heard me correctly. It was quite a length of time and during a very challenging time for the organization. I served between 2007 and 2011, at which time in 2010, the ELCA voted to drop outdoor ministries from the church-wide budget, which meant losing the outdoor ministry staff we had at the church-wide office. This was a big deal and left LOM members sad, angry, and uncertain of what was next. Those of us involved at the time know the challenge and a sense of grief we experienced losing our full-time outdoor ministry leadership staff of John Scogan and Mark Burkhart. Thank you, Mark and John, for your leadership, love, and service to outdoor ministries over the years. Well, LOM had to learn what a new relationship with Churchwide would look like and how outdoor ministry and LOM would relate to the greater church. It was a time that took extraordinary vision and courage on behalf of all LOM members. I am forever grateful to all the fellow board members that served at this difficult time, and I rejoice with all the past and present board members, as well as LOM members, that continue to preserve LOM's relationship with Churchwide and all things church in the ELCA. I am proud of our time of service together, and I can't say it enough of how supportive LOM has been to me and others as we have grown into being outdoor ministry professionals. Thank you, LOM members, and thank you, church.
Hey friends, I'm Paul Hill. I'm the former camp director of Lutherdale from 81 to 90, back when dinosaurs kept eating our campers. And then I ended my career as the director of the WAPO system, in which I was able to direct and raise money to buy Wilderness from Plymouth Christian Youth Center. And that was a really full circle experience for me, because I started at Wilderness as a troubled teenager, and then I ended my career directing Wilderness along with 3 other camps. Hugely significant to me. I was able to be a part of LOM my whole career. It's the most important organization for me throughout that time, and I got to go through LOM's 3 phases. I would call it the Animal House phase, the Outhouse phase, and the Our House phase. The Animal House phase was back in the days when LOM events were somewhere between a business meeting and a frat party led by Bob Keener. The Outhouse phase started when we were in New Jersey and Outdoor Ministries was taken out of churchwide offices, and we were all just really struggling. Who are we? What are we going to do now that we don't have a churchwide office location? And then I served as the chair in 2012, 2013, and got to serve with Andrea Schofield, Wayne Harrison, great people, and others. And we built up the bylaws, the whole direction of the organization, which led now to where you're at now and where we're at now. And that's the My House phase, where LOM has become a professional organization under the great leadership of Don Johnson. One highlight for me for LOM and outdoor ministries in general was when, late in my career, working with Jake Sorensen, we developed the Effective Camp Research Project. We wanted to prove that what we do at camp actually happens and makes a difference. Well, obviously, since then, Jake, who's a much better researcher than I'll ever be, has taken it to a whole new level. And it's a fabulous contribution to LOM and outdoor ministries. Best to all of you, thank you for the time, and I hope LOM has many more Our House years ahead.
Hello, LOM. I'm Nathan Pyle. I'm the executive director at Sequinota and have served here now as the executive for 13 years. I have also served, I was program director at Sequinota, but I've also served at Marla Ridge as associate director. And right before I became a year-round professional, I served at Lake Chautauqua Lutheran Center and Lutheran Memorial Camp as well. So I've been a part of LOM for some time. I was the LOM board president from 2013 to the very beginning of 2016. And during those years, we worked hard as a board and as a committee structure to kind of get the organization off and running. So we gathered annually in those early years, once a year with all of the committees, and did a lot of committee work together and accomplishing things like our curriculums and setting up our membership kind of structure and our digital space, website, and places for resources. But probably the biggest thing that we did in the years that I served as the board chair was that the board sought out and eventually hired an executive director for Lutheran Outdoor Ministries, who became Don Johnson. So that's the biggest thing that we did in those years. It was a lot of hard work, but it was a lot of work that we did together.
Hi everyone, I'm Casey First. I served for 18 years with Nebraska Lutheran Outdoor Ministries, and today I own Tic-Tac-Toe Marketing for Camps, where I get to partner with camps across the country to help them tell their stories and grow their ministries. I had the honor of serving as LOM's board chair from 2016 to 2018, and when I think back on that time, there are two milestones that stand out for me. The first was the hiring of Don Johnson as executive director. That moment marked a big transition from a volunteer and contractor-led structure to having a full-time employee leading the organization. It was a major step in LOM's growth and stability. The second was adopting an official welcome statement, which made clear our community's intention and expectation for hospitality and inclusivity. That statement opened the door for so much of the meaningful programming and dialogue that has happened in the years since. What I remember most, though, isn't the organizational milestones, it's the people. The incredible leaders and servants of LOM who show up with passion, creativity, and a deep, deep love for the ministries and each other. This community continues to inspire me, and I'm so grateful to have been able to play a very small part in its story. Congratulations, LOM, on 20 years of shared ministry, connection, and impact. Here's to many more.
Hi, I'm Daryl Thompson-Powell, coming to you from where I currently serve as pastor of Resurrection Lutheran Church in Franklin Park, Illinois. I served as president of the LOM board from 2019 through 2022. Now, despite my connections to outdoor ministries that for over 30 years, that includes Moana and Lutheran Memorial Center in Ohio, Koinonia in New York, Stony Lake in Michigan, and Lutheran Outdoor Ministry Center in Illinois, I have the distinction of being the first non-outdoor ministry professional to serve as president of the LOM board. I think that ended up being a blessing because I was president while we went through COVID. And since I didn't have to focus on how to keep my camp afloat, I was able to spend a lot more time helping the board to figure out how we were going to help the camps. But my personal distinction, my favorite thing that I think I am the most proud of, is bringing Reverend Matthew O'Rear onto the LOM board. Happy 20th anniversary, LOM.
I'm Dave Jarvis, and I have served as the Executive Director at Rainbow Trail Lutheran Camp in Southern Colorado for the past 37 years. I currently live in Colorado Springs and will be retiring from my ministry at Rainbow Trail at the end of the year. I had the pleasure to serve as the LOM President during 2023 and 2024. Now, LOM had just completed the development of a massive new strategic plan that was approved at our annual meeting in 2022. The 2023 board was challenged with beginning the implementation of that plan. We took a Swiss cheese approach to it and began punching holes in it, tackling the tasks that seemed most urgent or that needed to happen before other work could begin. Now, during my years as president, LOM made some major strides in several areas. 2023 LOM's major accomplishments included creating a strong, creative, and active development committee that helped turn the corner in support and giving to LOM. Adopting a crisis communication plan that LOM received as a gift from Tic-Tac-Toe and Casey First. And then stepping into a new contract with Tic-Tac-Toe that led to a complete rebranding of LOM, including a new logo in early 2024. I think one of our greatest accomplishments was that we developed and began implementing the LOM Community Expectations Policy for all LOM events to ensure that all feel safe and included. Also, LOM played a major role in the planning and funding for the 2025 OMC Great Gathering. And finally, we finalized the ELCA Outdoor Ministry Affiliation Criteria document and submitted it to the church-wide council for approval. One other major accomplishment from 2024 was the LOM board had a lengthy and heartfelt conversation of why LOM exists. The board came back to center that LOM's main purpose was to help grow and develop the professionals of Lutheran Outdoor Ministries, to educate, to support, and be a resource so that professionals can serve more confidently and faithfully. It was a true honor to be able to serve as the president of LOM. When you have the opportunity to serve in such roles as president, you gain a deeper understanding of all the work that this organization does on behalf of us as professionals. For that, I am extremely grateful. Thank you.
I'm Matt O'Rear. I'm honored to serve as the current president of the board of directors for Lutheran Outdoor Ministries. I want to thank my esteemed past presidents for their words and their encouragement. Also, I want to thank each of you for your commitment to Lutheran Outdoor Ministries. For 20 years, this ministry has been a network that supports and equips. For the past 10 years under Don's leadership, we have seen growth that continues to help each of our sites. But to each of you, as the hymn writer said, thousand thanks are due, dearest Jesus, unto you. My profound thanks for the work that you do, the transformation that you do, the ability to pull people into retreat and to transform them for the sake of Jesus in this world. Thank you for all that you do, and I am hopeful for what is yet to come for Lutheran Outdoor Ministries.